You do it again. Maybe you're in the shower, lying in bed, or staring out a window on a commute. Suddenly, you're somewhere else entirely. You're having a conversation that never happened, winning an argument from 3 years ago, explaining yourself perfectly to someone who isn't there. Or maybe you're imagining a future moment where everything finally goes right. The strange part? None of it is real, but the emotions feel completely real. Your heart rate changes. You feel excitement, anger, or even relief from a conversation that exists only in your head. Then you snap back to the present, and there's this strange feeling, half relief, half disappointment. If you do this often, you might have wondered, why do I keep doing this? Am I broken? Let's talk about what this really is. You're not just daydreaming. You are constructing entire emotional realities. First, let me say this clearly. You are not broken. You are not weak. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. Psychologists call this mental simulation. Your brain is a prediction machine. Before you do something in real life, your brain quietly runs different possibilities in the background. Athletes do this intentionally to visualize winning. Public speakers rehearse in their heads. But for you, this simulation system is active even when it's not necessary. There is a network in your brain called the default mode network. It activates when you aren't focused on the outside world. For some people, this network is hyperactive. It doesn't just wander, it builds entire worlds. People who frequently imagine fake scenarios usually have one thing in common. They spend a lot of time thinking about how others perceive them. Not because you want attention, but because your brain is constantly analyzing social situations. It is practicing for life. Not all imagined scenarios are the same. Psychologists notice 3 common patterns, and recognizing which one you are stuck in is the first step out. First, the argument scenarios. You replay a situation from earlier, but this time you say the perfect thing, the perfect comeback. You are trying to resolve an unfinished conversation. Second, the success scenarios. You imagine achieving recognition, proving yourself, or a romantic moment. These feel motivating, but they can become a form of mental escape where the imagination is more satisfying than the real work. Third, the worst-case scenarios. Your mind imagines disasters, misunderstandings, and failures that haven't happened yet. But here is the deeper reason. The thing you probably haven't noticed. You do this because you crave control. In real life, you can't control how people respond to you. You can't rewind and redo. But in your mind, you are the director. You say the perfect thing. You get to be understood. Your brain craves that feeling, especially if you have ever felt powerless or overlooked. But there is a cost. When this habit becomes frequent, imagination stops being a tool and starts becoming a mental loop. Sometimes these imagined scenarios become more satisfying than real interactions. You rehearse the conversation so many times, you never actually have it. You replay the hurt so often, you stay stuck in it. You get angry at people for things they only did in your head. The tool that was meant to prepare you starts to trap you. Because real growth happens in reality, not in simulations. Real life is messy, unpredictable, and unscripted. Your brain struggles with that uncertainty. So how do you work with this instead of against it? Not by shaming yourself for stopping, but by understanding what the scenarios are trying to give you. Here is how you take back control. First, externalize the scenario. When you catch yourself looping, write it down. Just a few sentences. This is called expressive writing. Your brain replays it because it's trying to process something. Once it's on paper, the loop loses its power. Second, ask yourself, is this preparing me or protecting me? Preparing means you are mentally rehearsing for a conversation you intend to have. That is healthy. Protecting means you are hiding in fantasy to avoid discomfort. If you aren't going to act on it, it's time to stop rehearsing. Third, set a time limit. You don't have to eliminate the scenarios entirely. Give yourself 5 or 10 minutes to daydream. Then, return to the present. Train your brain that this is a tool, not a residence. Fourth, ground yourself. When you notice you've drifted, gently look at something real. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your breath. This activates your sensory cortex and pulls you out of the default mode network. Think of it like this. Your mind is a river. The scenarios are the current, sometimes gentle, sometimes wild. You can't stop the river from flowing, but you can choose not to be swept away. You can sit on the bank, watch the current, acknowledge it, and then stand up and walk your own path. You don't have to live in your head anymore. You can let those scenarios be what they were always meant to be: simulations and rehearsals, not replacements for your life. Your real life is waiting for you. Messy, uncertain, and unscripted, but real. And that is enough.